All right, we're live. So, how are you wherever you are in the world? Mm-hmm. Today is December 31, 2022. So, Happy New Year. Hi there, Manoy Noah LF Official. Happy New Year. What are we going to have for this morning? It is actually 11:07 in the morning here in the Philippines. Our topic is actually prepping for 2023. So let's check it out there. Prepping for 2023. We'll also be talking about food security, US, China, Philippines relations or tension, criminality that we ought to watch out for, fighting arts, and perhaps guns, because our guest is a known professional shooter, Jose Rizal Adventures, my tokayo. And going back to basics, farming off-grid life. But first, you better have a channel ID.
Nagkakaroon na naman ng pagtaas ng COVID-19 cases dito sa Pilipinas. Subalit ayon sa gobyerno, wala raw
Dahil ang pagsuyo ko ay multong haplos. Huli na akong lumampi ng 1,000 taon. Papailing ning paggamit ning folk beliefs related to the Wingspan.
Nonglo or the Kinabayog could very well be an articulation of this folk.
Then we go farther forward and we'll go to the false shield. At saka ito, syempre, ang ating sword. Kasi naman, ano po, kung talagang may sword lang po dito.
Alrighty. As we said, our topic is prepping for 2023, and we actually have a guest, supposedly Jose Rizal Adventures, my tokayo. He's not yet here right now because he actually went camping, hiking with his family at Big Bend National Park there, Texas. So he's not yet here. By the way, Tokayo or Jose Rizal Adventures, his first name is also Jason. He's based in Texas. He's actually a nurse, a YouTube personality, outdoorsman, prepper, survivalist. So let's wait for him to actually come in. What do we expect, for 2023 when it comes to food security? Because we are currently having a kind of a food shortage right now. And what else? Wait, we have a message from Jim Paul Borlagdan. Okay. Also, criminality is still rampant, particularly here in our jurisdiction. What type of crimes, should we prepare for in the coming 2023? Also, as per the US, Philippines, China relations, what will happen to it? Where will it bring us? Just recently, a U.S. aircraft almost collided with a Chinese aircraft. So I hope it doesn't heat up. You know, things are happening over there. Also, music scene, art scene, perhaps we can also talk about that. Actually, we were supposed to have Jack Alcera as well, but because it's New Year's Eve, maybe she wasn't available because of that, or she isn't available because of the occasion. Of course, fighting arts. What do we need to prepare for, adjust for, as per fighting arts? And our guest is supposed to be a gun enthusiast, so maybe he will talk about his guns later. But the thing is, he's not yet here. I wonder where my tokayo is. Uh huh. And as per the topic of going back to basics, no, going back to basics, going or living off the land, off grid life, farming. Will there be a decrease in said activities because things are going or getting back to normal? These are some of the questions that we ought to consider. So right there, it is. Wait. Uh-huh. There. Panoy Alex is here. Hi there, Julio Henosa, Noah Aleph official. How about you guys? What do you think are the things we need to look forward to in the coming 2023? All right. Mm-hmm. Well, as per food security, the price of uh, sibuyas, no, is already quite expensive. So ginto, no, ginto na ang sibuyas according to some people, we can consider sibuyas as ginto already. So kumusta kaya ang food security sa 2023? No? Patuloy kaya ang food shortage? So what could be the answer to that? Um, of course, there was news of an upcoming food shortage early 2022, in that it will affect us, particularly the Philippines, late 2022, and it's happening now. You see, there's inflation. It's manifesting itself as inflation. Food getting a little bit expensive. So I think it will continue in the coming months. It will get worse before it gets better. So it will get worse before it gets better, I think. So yeah, there will be food shortage issues manifesting uh, as inflation or the rise in uh, prices of food commodities. Uh, of course, it's still better to have our food free if we are near water sources, so we can capitalize on uh, free water, drinking water. It's also beneficial to actually grow one's own food. Personally, we here where I am, we actually uh, have farms and we garden, and it helps. It helps. Uh, Actually, at my wife's resort, they actually have Yahoo Anne Marie, other Manay Anne Marie. They actually have a fish pond, so that's another thing that's actually helpful. So there, grow your own food, forage, I guess. Of course, not everyone has the skill in foraging. No, shout out to Jojo Villarreal, my friend at Kadlagan Shop. So plugging Kadlagan Shop, Jojo Villarreal. He's always at his off-grid, sort of off-grid or bushcraft. Uh, Happy New Year, Manay Anne Marie. Uh, Jojo is always at his off-grid site or bushcraft site. He calls it Sanctuario. Now he goes there regularly, uh, and he would forage edibles. Uh, he's actually an expert in bushcraft and in foraging, and he's also really good at what uh, communing, communicating, working with locals. So he also gets to catch fish with the help of local fishermen. He's also into foraging for fish as well. Maybe someday we can actually have him here. We can also talk to him here. There, food security, criminality. Okay, recently, just today, today, kumbaga, patuloy pa rin ang rape slay. There's actually the case of a 12-year-old girl buried, no? She was found buried or partially buried, ibinaon, and more likely a victim of rape slay. We actually had an episode on that along with my tokayo, Jose Rizal Adventures, and also Rose Solis or Rose Mother or Sario Solis, formerly Pinay Survivalist. So you might want to check that live stream as well. So there, what type of crimes would be rampant in the year 2023? I guess rape slay will continue to be talamak. It's still happening and all that. Uh, Also, web-based crimes, particularly identity estafa. Estafa via identity theft, defamation, or even online. Yes, opo, talamak at nakakalungkot ang ganyan mga case according to Manayan. Yeah, online libel, cybercrime, a lot of ways to commit cybercrime, online libel, grave threat via via the internet, defamation via in the internet. What else? Maybe Bausi, uh, violence against women and their children via the internet, stalking. Especially if they're already in a dating relationship, wherein the guy would be stalking the girl. Have you been stalked? Have you experienced getting stalked? There's a popular uh, musician, the vocalist of Potresca. Are you familiar with Potresca? Uh, of Manila Girl fame. Uh, the vocalist of that band actually left Potresca because of a stalker. So it was a long, long time ago. Though I think I was still in college when that happened. It was late 90s, I think. So there, internet connected crimes uh, would be rampant because a lot of people are working via the internet. Vlogging is a kind of a work as well. We're working here in the internet, and online cybercrime, which is actually a stupid law. I don't think libel ought to be criminalized. I think libel should be decriminalized already by now, because it is usually made as a way to intimidate critics or intimidate uh, opinion makers or the third state, ano, or media, so or fourth state, I mean, media. What about libel anyway? As per libel, uh, you can actually commit it by publishing something defamatory against a person that could be identified, that's actually identifiable more or less, living or dead. And you said something that would tend, you know, to diminish his honor or diminish his name, that would somehow defame him or her or the company, if it's a what, it's a juridical person and not a natural person. And you can commit it via negligence as well if you you actually fail to verify the truth or something, or if you commit it, you can also commit it by you know negligence by failing to verify or by uttering something or uh, a detail that is defamatory. And one of the most important element is malice. When we say malice, it is the absence of any good intent. So malice is a crime of the mind, a crime of intention. So if no, malice is not a crime. So libel is a crime of intention because malice, one of the most important element of libel, is very, very internal. It's very difficult to discern malice. Uh, if you read jurisprudence, the Supreme Court would often say that it's really a case by case basis. You really have to understand what the intention of the supposed accused. Uh, yeah, according to Manay Anne Marie, sa Philippines, kawawa ang mga defamed on social media o konti ang nagkakaroon ng justisya. So anyway, there, malice is the absence of any, good intention in what you're saying. So it's this absence of, you know, fair comment. It's just really a way to malign the person. So that's how it is. That's how malice works. Now, if if you get accused of libel against a private person, uh, truth is not a defense. Even if what you're saying is true, so long as what you're saying is malicious and you have no other, intention except to malign that person when you publish that post, then you are guilty of cyber libel. Even if what you're saying is true. For example, you're saying that person owes you a lot of money, and because of that, that person is, you know, a person that cannot be trusted. No, di ba? Even if it were true, the post could get interpreted as malicious, and you could be guilty of cyber crime, that is cyber libel. Also, when you, for example, commit cyber crime or cyber libel against a public person, this time, however, truth is a defense, specifically if your comment is about the public function of that public officer. So if what you're saying is true, then what? It is still it is defensible. So there's no libel, there's no cyber libel in that case. But more often than not, libel cases don't really prosper. Um, they get dismissed, and more often than not, libel cases are only for the rich, people who are trying to protect their, reputation, their businesses, and their name, if ever they really have a good reputation. So they're the ones who actually avail of this particular remedy in court, because it's actually expensive to maintain or to initiate and maintain a court case, even a case like libel, cyber libel. So I particularly don't agree that libel ought to be criminalized, or yeah, ought to be a criminal case. They should just be I think it should just be a civil case, because libel is usually employed by the powers that be to silence, no? To silence critics, to silence legitimate opinion, to harass journalists. That's my take on it. Kasi if you're really good, no matter what those journalists are saying, if you're really good, no one will believe those journalists anyway. You don't really have to defend yourself via cybercrime if you're really good. If, you know, those that are being said about you are not really true. There, US Philippine China tension still going on. There's a resurgence in COVID 19 cases in China, and I hope it won't complicate matters. Um, I hope nothing really happens over there, because the Philippines is usually the theater of war whenever something bad happens in this region. So, well, it's nice that Japan is actually ready to help the Philippines in such eventuality. Uh, but looking at it, I don't think China is bent on engaging in an armed conflict uh, anytime soon. I don't think so. Well, if indeed it happens, I really don't know how to prepare for something like that. You go off grid, maybe. But you know what? This is Mount Isarog. it's quite secluded. But you know what? During World War II, the Japanese occupied a portion of it. You know, so you can say that it's really difficult to get away from the conflict if indeed it happens. And maybe you really have to just face it and take up the role as per Posse Comitatus. The duty of able-bodied men to actually fight for the country. And I hope rich people would also join in, not only the barrio folks, the lower classes, usually employed by the elite to fight their wars. Anyway, martial arts, Filipino martial arts, the fighting arts is still thriving, and I don't think it will wane anytime soon, especially this 2023. Even Filipinos, Filipino Americans, Filipinos abroad, foreigners for that matter, are really into native fighting arts, particularly Filipino fighting arts. I do maintain a Facebook page that actually sells Philippine style blade, particularly Bicol blades. And that page is also my avenue for my articles on Bicol culture, oral tradition, folk tales, barrio stories, etc., outdoors events, uh, amulet culture, blade culture. And I can attest that most of my customers, most of my clients are from abroad. So foreigners are more interested in Filipino martial arts more than Filipinos are, which is actually also good in a way. In a way. So there, martial arts. How about guns? It's very difficult to maintain a license for a firearm here in the Philippines. And according to Tokayo, Jose Rizal Adventures, firearms are a lot more expensive here in the Philippines. So again, only for those with the means to actually maintain a firearm for prepping for purposes. I don't know what to say about it. He's the gun expert. Uh, Me, I just have my blades and my air pistol. So there. As per going back to basics, do you think people will start to go back to the cities once again? Uh, do less farming and gardening. Uh, go out, uh, go inside the grid once again after being off grid for quite some time because of the pandemic. I don't think so. I think people will just try to go back to grid, so to speak, with knowledge of the basics, and they will be more prepared to go back outside of the grid once the need arises. Unlike before, when most of the people were caught by surprise. So, how about the music scene? Well, the various platforms are providing avenues for artists and musicians. YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, so many platforms, and it's easier to market your art uh, right now, easier today than before. And so many people are now publishing their own works. So self-publishing is on the rise. And it's very easy to market. You market one's own books now with the internet. No need to personally set up a booth somewhere to sell your own books, etc., or to attend literary events just to sell your own books, etc. Right? You can just post it on the internet, and you can just open a Shopee account or Lazada account, and you can now sell your own books. Invest around 20,000 pesos in publishing your books, and you'll have your books, and then you sell them, and all of the profit minus the investment would go back to you, and no more middleman, no more publishers, no more publishers who will actually earn money also at your expense. The thing with publishers is that they act as a kind of gatekeeper as to what kind of books will actually sell. But you know what? For a creative, for a writer, for instance, why would you care about what will sell? If you have material, if you think it's good, no, if you think it's good, then you sell it. Try to sell it. If it sells, then good. If it doesn't sell, then wait for it to sell. That's how it works. And should not let other people tell you that your book will not sell, etc., etc., etc. That's just one arm of consumerism right there. Okay. The problem now is AI. Artificial intelligence. There's so many software that can actually produce art right now, and some artists are worried about artificial intelligence. I hope it's not the way to go. I hope machines won't take over human creativity. But our scientists, our inventors are getting better and better. And I'm not really sure if I should say this, but there's a perception that our inventors are really good in their science, but really bad at their ethics. So I'm not really sure about that, but maybe not. Maybe they just want to create, and sometimes they don't have the foresight for it, or sometimes you just want to create because they have sponsors. There are people paying them to companies, grants, entities making them, funding them. So they are creating all these gadgets, all these technologies at the expense of dehumanization, robotics taking place of robotics taking charge of uh, human activities. Um, I think we should watch out for that. Uh, in 20, no, in 2000, in the year 2000, 2001, was it 2002? My friend Santiago Villafana showed me a software that could write poetry, and the output of that software, the poetic output, really read like poetry. But if you are into poetry, if you're a critic, if you read closely the product or the poetic outbursts of said software, you would readily see that those were not poems; those were random words made to look like poems, made to sound like poems. So, but then again, as we said, our inventors are getting better and better. So they might just produce something that would a software that could really mimic humans in creating poetry. A lot of machines, that could, for example, machines that could fly airplanes and no more problems, no more pilot error, etc. But I don't know. Maybe machines that could drive or cars that could drive themselves. There's even a motorcycle now that won't drop I think it's already available, made by Honda. I'm not sure. If it doesn't get into an accident, it really won't drop. If you don't bump it, it won't drop. It has its own balancing system. Robotics, robotics. That's actually good. But we'll see. We'll see about that. But how about your own balance? People will now lose their own ability to balance because I hope not. I think our ability to balance, our innate ability for balance, won't really go away, even if we have these technologies. They are communicating here. Iniwan sa main sabay. Uh-huh. How about the woke movement? The woke movement. Are you woke? According to a YouTuber out there, shout out to Comics Man. Hi there, man. To Comics Man. According to one of their episodes, said that the woke movement, all this stuff, will just what lead to the new world order, one world government, etc., etc. Right now, I don't think it's feasible. We're very far away from that situation. But the woke movement is there, LGBT stuff. But for prepping, Tokayo, Rose, and myself, we are just observing from a distance, and we are not really into the woke movement. Even if personally I am an artist, there's so many artists who are into the woke movement, trying out psychedelic substances, etc., diffusing boundaries, diffusing gender identities, etc. But I think it will go on. It will go on. It will go on. So I have a tutorial appointment in 20 minutes. Okay, salamat po for dropping by. It will go on, but if that's their thing, then that's their thing. So I don't think Tokayo will. I think he's asleep. He just got back from a hiking trip from Big Bend National Park. So I don't think he's awake. My guess must be asleep. He's in the US, Texas. So it's nighttime. It's nighttime over there at Texas. So maybe he said yes, but he was too sleepy and too tired, and maybe he intended to actually log in, but he could not log in. So let's wrap up. I guess Tokayo will not be here, although he said he will be here. Anyway, it's okay. We'll always have another live stream when everyone is free, etc. So today we talked about what 2023, prepping for 2023, food security, what to expect as per criminality, US, China, Philippines tension. We said that just have to be ready for it, but I don't think China is willing to engage. And I think they are more interested in lighting up firecrackers for the new year. Music scene, art scene, thriving, the various the various platforms helping artists. Filipino martial arts, fighting arts still thriving, and I don't think people will forget about going back to the basics. More especially that we have food shortage, inflation, and things are getting very, very expensive. Ginto na ang sibuyas. So, woke movement will continue. It's just around the corner. It's happening. Just observe your kids. Maybe they are already into it, so just have to be watchful about it. Is woke movement a derivative of the hippies movement during the 60s? I think that's something that we should talk about next time. Maybe we should have our resident neo shaman Bong De La Torre once again for that topic. All right, Jason here for the Hagbayon Channel and PMS Talks. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining me. Wait. Noah Aleph Official, Heno Park TV, Grateful Marie, Anne Marie's TV, Manay Anne Marie. So thanks for Julio Henyosa. I hope to be able to visit your YouTube channels as well. All right. Thanks for watching. Remember, the pen is mightier with the sword. Happy New Year!